Oh, check this thing out. That's a lot of lithium.
75 volts. It's wired in series. 25 volts each pack.
How's it ride?
It runs good.
Oh, this thing actually sits wider than my 2022 Polaris Ranger North Star.
A lot of room up front.
Yeah, this is a full-size rig.
I had me and another guy and a 200-pound buck in the back, and it was like 18 or 20 degrees out, and it did slow down, but it went all the way up that hill.
This hill is so steep that the tractor is struggling in mid-range. All right, I'm at Felipe's garage, and we're going to do some mods today on the Kandi cart. We're going to do a green light up front, some toggle switches, and we're going to wire a white LED in the rear. But this is the first time he's getting to see this machine, so I asked him just poke around, take a look at this thing to fit in the field, and we're going to go for a ride later, but it's still like 29 degrees out.
I like that. I like that.
Oh, yeah,
being able
that's
to flip
cool.
that open and just get some fresh air every once in a while. I like that. It's better than a solid.
I mean, they made this thing to be road legal. It's got, you know, the seat belts, it's got the turn signals, the whole shooting match is built into it.
That's nice.
40, it'll run 40 mile an hour, supposed to have, I think, a 60-mile range.
Like a little kid, play with all the...
And it does have Bluetooth and all Wi-Fi. I didn't mess with that. I don't have an interest in that. I don't think it has radio speakers, but it does have Bluetooth and apps. You could put apps on that thing if you want. Like probably a driving app, mapping, or whatever. I was surprised earlier when I found out this thing actually sits wider than my 2022 Polaris Ranger North Star.
A lot of room up front.
Yeah, this is a full-size rig. I mean, it's weighs close to a ton.
Especially for a gargantuan like you.
Yeah, I mean, I got no problem fitting in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 6 foot, so I'm a tweenie. But that's a lot of room even for me. That's a lot of room even for me.
Tilt steering. So we're gonna go for a ride later, but let's get at this.
I'm gonna go for a ride. I didn't want to run that over. I don't know what. Yeah. All right, real quick before we go for a ride, let's check out the power source of this thing. On our Intimidator, which is a few years older, it's a 48 volt system. But let's check out what the Kandi has in this brand new unit.
Oh, check this thing out. That's a lot of lithium. What voltage is it, Phil?
75 volts. It's wired in series. 25 volts each pack.
Wow, they ain't messing around with this one.
No, they are not. That's why it runs like a scalded dog.
Each of these, you know, there's different brands in that, but each of these batteries is probably 1,200 bucks, give or take.
If not more.
Yeah, maybe even more.
Even with it being only 25 volts, it's still a lot of lithium. So these could be 1,500 to 2,500 a piece.
Yeah, because these are 150 amp hours each. When the other packs were installed, and even though they're 48 volt, they're only 105 amp hours.
Correct.
So even though these are only 25 each, they got 50% more amp hours than a double the size battery.
And 50% more voltage. So it gives you 50% more torque and everything else. That's why it runs so good.
All right, we're gonna check back in.
I'll get out a few times to get some shots of you coming by. I think it's all time four-wheel drive.
Yeah, with no button.
No.
Hey guys, Capper here, welcome back. So in looking at this Kandi Innovator, this is an all new rugged machine. I'm going to compare it to, well, basically the top dog just for a minute, the Polaris. But I just wanted Pro Staffer Phil to take a second look at it, because I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty impressed with this machine. It is a very good, complete package overall for what you get for the money. You know, this thing lists at $13,999. Now, with tariffs coming, maybe, will that increase? Perhaps. But let's take a real quick look at the top dog, the Polaris, and make a couple of differentiations. So I did a little skimming on the new Ranger Kinetic Ultimate. I mean, the starting price here without even heat and air in that is $37,000. Now, granted, I get it. I got a Polaris. I love it. Polaris is the top dog, and this, the Polaris Kinetic is obviously a beast compared to other electrics. However, if it's the difference between, not everybody can afford a machine like this. So if it's the difference between getting a really good rugged electric or walking on your property, just FYI, just some things to consider. So let's get back to Felipe with our test drive on his southern Missouri Ozarks farm.
How's it ride?
Rub's good.
I love the power steering.
Yeah, that's handy.
It is nice.
It is peppy.
Even with the dampener. Well, like I said, it'll run 40 miles an hour, supposed to, so.
That's pretty good.
All right, this one may not look like it, but it's a pretty steep hill, so we're just trying it uphill. I will note that on our farm, we got some really steep elevation changes that it will slow down with it loaded down. I had me and another guy and a 200-pound buck in the back, and it was like 18 or 20 degrees out, and it did slow down, but it went all the way up that hill, and that hill is so steep that even my tractor, I got to put in low gear.
This hill is so steep that the tractor is struggling in mid-range, but it'll make it, but a lot steeper than what it looks.
And I got to run up it with my truck, so that's really not a small feat for an electric. Trust me, some of them wouldn't make it up some of the hills we got here in the Ozarks.
Just come along this fence line once.